Good day, everybody. Yo, listen, it's your boy Don P. the Gentleman. We are out the truck. As you can see, I am literally out my truck. That's right. This is raw, authentic. This is the other side of business. This the other side of the game. This the harsh truths, the realities, the nitty gritty about being in business, being achieving your greatness. Me, I come from the Exoticpreneur. I am the Exoticpreneur. However, there is multiple ways to get to that bag. See, there's out of the sexual alignment or your sexual align it with your cosmic consciousness that attract all gains. So I am still in the exotic entertainment, adult entertainment world, more as a mentor, consultant, and producer, content creator of this work. This is the other side. This is the other side of the game where that my money comes from multiple ways. I'm not saying that to brag. I'm saying that to say that you could start in one lane and you can end up in another. But there is processes that applies to all lanes in business. And this is the real nitty gritty. Now, I'm not going to be talking about adult and the sexual part of this game because that's not that page. If you want to learn more about that, go to the Mind of the Exoticpreneur, where that we talk about that stuff on the spiritual side of it, on the sexual energy side of it, on everything. But this is the logical side. This is the cosmic consciousness. But this is also the side of the world that don't nobody want to tell you about because they just want to say the end result, the smiley face. But hey, man, I'm a real dude. Yeah, well, I'm from the school of say it like it is so that we can know what we got to do to get to the solution instead of focusing on the problem. I don't want to reveal it. Do you want to revisit? Do you want to revisit your pain or do you understand your solution? You feel what I'm saying? Like it's some of us, because this podcast is not for everybody. Some of us don't want to keep going back to that painful, heart-wrenching part. Some of us have now been healed and yeah, we might have the scars, but we don't even see the scars anymore because it's been healed so good. We took all the right steps. We took all of the right supplements. We didn't just put a band-aid on it. We actually got the herbs. We started cutting out all of the things that was making the wound worse. We got rid of the salt that fucked us up. You see what I'm saying? Like we did all these things so that depending on how deep that wound, it might be a faint scar. It's light, but it's not triggering. It's yeah, I know it's there, but it's not there. It don't hurt. It don't bother me. It's just now I'm not even holding on to the past. It's just something that let me know that, hey, yo, I've been through it. You feel what I'm saying? This is what this is all about. This is why we out the truck because it's raw like that. Now, why? Now, what are we going for today? When I was having a conversation with one of my young dogs, and he's young, but he's smart, sharp, ambitious man, but he's one of those bright kids like myself who, lack of better words, he's got so caught up in himself in his head that he's so heavily bound he's no earthly good. That's the plainest way I can say it. And how do I know this? Because sometimes some of us that are fortunate or blessed, they have a certain level of intelligence in connection to our environment. Now, here's the key thing. In connection to our environment, we might be the smartest thing or the brightest bulb in the room. And how many of us know that if you're the smartest person in the room, you're actually the dumbest person in the room? You feel what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people could say, oh, I'm the smartest one. That's in comparison to who you're around. If you're around a whole bunch of dummies, and you can call it what it is, man. This is not for the sensitive folks. If you know that this person is brighter than you, then just acknowledge it. They are, but that's relative to what they're bright about. Some people have natural ability of just intelligence or good with people. That's not my strong suit. My strong suit, if my strong suit is not that, I am not the best with upstarts. I'm not the best. I will never try and present myself as I'm the most approachable person when you're getting started in your journey. I tried to work that way and I found that I need you to come with I need you to come with some instruction manuals when you're dealing with me or when I'm dealing with you or we're working together. The reason being is because if we have a certain level of common knowledge, then we know then there is a place where that we can reference to pull from. So even because of that, I use a lot of references for the Quran and from the King James Holy Bible. Reason being, simply put, I use it and it's in all of my talks. It's in all my podcasts. And the reason being for it's simple. It's because of the common ground. Most people have read it. Now, we're not going into the Emerald Tales. We're not going to the Anunnaki. We're not going into all of these deep philosophical ancient texts that's not my lane. So shout out to Billy Carson and all those people that go hardcore to that. That's not me. I understand the basics. I understand the fundamentals. I have been taught and privileged enough to understand the principles. And I apply that in business, in my personal life, in my professional life, and period. It's who I am now. It's who I am living in the place that allows me to be my authentic self so that I can present myself authentically to you. Now, yes, I did 5 minutes of monologue. Why? Because I need y'all to get to know me, man. I need y'all to know and feel my vibe. I need y'all to feel who you talking to and get to know. Now, the reason why I went and talked about my young man is because we got into this deep discussion on becoming perfect. And in becoming perfect, what I discovered, and he was like, I was like, basically, being perfect doesn't exist, but understanding that you're already perfect does. Now, he was like, nah, I want to be perfect. I don't want to be caught up in flaws. And I was like, that's a pride before the fall. That's arrogance. That's ego getting in the way of your blessing. And that may come across, I didn't want to come off preachy, but I wanted to come off authentic and let it be known like I was like that because every time I stepped out, I wanted to make sure that I appeared as if I was nothing wrong with me and make sure that there was no flaws in me. Like when you see me, you see the epitome of the ideal person. And then what I end up doing and put myself in a bad place was that I turned off everybody because now I wasn't even likable. I wasn't even approachable because there were moments, I might be a little too loud, so I'm just going to take it down. There was moments where people put me on a pedestal and I got caught up and it started feeding my ego and it started feeding my personal self-image as if I couldn't do no wrong. But how many know that was the biggest farce there? Yeah, but you don't get it when you're young and you was the bright one or you the talented. You know what I'm saying? Am I kicking it with some of y'all? If you was the star athlete in your school and everybody's flocking to you, why? Because they're putting the hopes and dreams actually on you to win that game every time, to be that superstar every time, to actually eat on a personal step, getting the girl or the man, because you was the finest one. You was the in crowd and everybody else was out crowds. When you get out into the real world and start competing against the rest of the world and start finding out that you're not the only one that's strong and built. You're not the only one that is operating at a 147 IQ score of 200. You feel what I'm saying? You're not the only one that's in here, the epitome of beauty. Because, for example, if you go to California right now, you'll find out that, see, I'm from the Midwest, where the fine chick in Detroit, in Michigan, is really a 5 in California. Because now you're seeing all type of different other nationalities to where everybody's fit. Everybody is tonally pleasing, aesthetically pleasing. Now, when you go over there, now what we were starting to get deep into was the fact of the matter that I was like, why were you who were you trying to be perfect for? Who were you trying? What was the purpose? Because if you're sitting here and trying to go out and never having a flaw with you when it comes to yourself, how can you present yourself perfect or willing for everybody else? Does that make sense? Is that a question that's a question I'm asking you now? And I want you to comment below, subscribe and comment below and let me know What is it that, why are you being perfect? Who are you being perfect for? Who are you trying to prove yourself, to show yourself qualified? Now, there is things that you can do to make sure that you're qualified to do a job, meaning that you have the skill set or the basic fundamentals capacity to challenge a particular problem in a way that produces a result. For example, hey, I make body creams and perfumes, and I have perfected the technique to create a scent that I thought was pleasing, but it wasn't until I tested it. I want you to get this game. It wasn't until I tested it against two other people who didn't know me from a can of paint, who did not care if I was in their face or not, who did not, that me entering into their life was not going to make or break them. I tested against them and they seemed and found good and said, damn, this smells great. I like this. How can I have this a part of my life, right? How can I make this a part of me? Why? Because the first thing in this game, in this, and on the other side, on the pretty and ugly side, is that when you get outside, you can't test yourself against yourself. You hear the rappers and all the people that are at the pinnacle or at the highest levels of competition that, hey, I only can beat myself. Why? Because I'm the top. I'm the best, which is true. If you have acquired that level of I'm the best. Now, what does that look like? What does the best look like? The best look like others have affirmed that you have reached a level of collective energy that resonates with them. Because here's the reality situation. Everybody's selfish. Nobody is buying, supporting, or fucking with anything that they cannot see themselves in. They cannot benefit it. For example, I'm out the truck. So yeah, I look ugly and gritty, but people that have been driving and they're grinding and they're working in logistics or transportation, if they're working in the entertainment, if they're working in taxation of finances, what are they doing? What they're doing is they're finding the ways that they know that you need to have a certain level of knowledge, or you have a problem and that needs to be solved. And you have went out and gained the proper acquired knowledge, certifications, and qualifications to solve that problem independently or collectively with a company, right? That's what you've done. Now I'm giving you all this formal definition so I can get back to it. Because of that, you are now able to earn an income. Now, what does that have to do with perfectionism? Everything. Because in that perfectionism, or professionalism as they call it, if you want to give it that, is that you're able to execute it in a way that's fast, efficient, and polished enough where that people cannot see the flaws that's in it. Yeah, that part. How do you know this to be true? Look at every iPhone that you got right now. Look at every iPhone you got. The first version of the iPhone is not this version, and I'm on the 15 right now. The 16 just came out, and they're about to drop a 17. What does that tell you? That perfectionism, being perfect, doesn't exist. Are you starting to pick up what I'm putting down? You know what is perfect? You are. How? Because, and now, we go ahead. I'm actually about to pull up some stuff. We'll pull a little shine. You feel me? I'm going to pull from, let's see, I'm going to pull from Matthew. Matthew out the King James Bible, 5:4 and 8. Be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. Right? Be perfect. What is being perfect? That's in translation, and this is my interpretation. Y'all can take it how you want. Be perfect. What that means is live in it. Be what you are. He said, be perfect, therefore, as your heavenly Father is perfect. Be it. That means live it. That means doing what you do every day to the best of it. So if you're looking to be fit, then you're going to be fit. How do you be fit? By going and exercising every day. a minimum of 15 minutes. If you ain't hip on the 15-minute, hey man, tap into the 15 and 15 challenge. 15 days, 15 minutes every day for the next 15 days. Challenge with the whole supplements, herbals, natural supplements, recipes. Go into 15and15.com if you don't know about it. That's being perfect on your fitness game. Being perfect on your job, right? That means doing your job at the capacity that's required, but at a flawless flow where that now you know that your job is completed. The task is at hand. I do deliveries. So I don't get caught up on how much adversity that's coming in the way of me getting my delivery. I just do the delivery. For example, yesterday we got hit with we in the Midwest, we got hit with a big old heavy rainstorm. Now, inside of my setup, I was overloaded. And overloaded means basically literally the word. I had more product than I could fit in my truck. So I had to basically roll with punches. I know how many I can fit in here based on the number, science, and consistency, right? Just like you know yourself and you know your job, right? When you know your job, you know if it's going to be heavy, light, or just right based off the numbers because for practice and consistency. So in this case, I was 50 pieces over, which means I knew off the bail that I can't fit it all in the first run. We're gauged in delivering in curry business. We're gauged on how consistently accurately we are at being 100% on time. And I deliver and transport medical stuff. So this is critical. So, you know what I'm saying? So give a big shout out and say thankful for the people that deliver your medicines, your critical stuff that you pick up from your local pharmacies and your big chains like Meijer, Walmart, CVS, all those places. Why? Because we're the ones that delivering it, and we're gauged on how accurate or how often we are on time, or how often we are on time based off the time allotted. In this case, I was overloaded. So since I was overloaded, I knew I couldn't deliver it in a flawless capacity, which also meant that I was going to be late delivering it to somebody. Some of it was going to start off perfect, meaning I'm still going to load because the process to load was still the same. The process to unload is still the same. The thing is, the time that I was going to get there will vary according to what I got to deliver at the time. What I did was I delivered the first two and then went back and got to do the rest, which made me late. Right? Now, because I was late during that time, I already knew that this is now going to count against me. But does it stop me? No. Now, here's the part that was even messed up inside of that. Inside of the delivery, I ended up couldn't find one of the dang finishing one of them dang totes to be delivered to a location, which means I have to mark it down as if I don't have it. Now, we're gauged on accuracy, accountability, as in the total, and we're gauged on when you got, was it checked in at the beginning, middle, and end? So it has to be completed and checked along the way. So when you look at it like this is how life and the universe and your business and your personal life is always checking and balancing to see if you're okay. Are you a good place or a bad place? So when you're in your business, for example, just like I was in mine, it's checking me and say, hey, I checked everything. It was here. I know. I scanned it myself. I did it myself. So I know I did it. And then my instrument verified it. Now I get to the dang on site and I did it. I'm like, okay, did I leave it someplace else? Did I leave it to us? Or did I even put it on the dang on thing? Because when you have overload, it's more product canvas, which means errors comes bigger. Why? So in life, sometimes things that get so big or overwhelming that now you don't know which way to turn. You don't even know if it's right or left. You just know the fundamentals. Like, I know I got to load it. I know that this goes this place and this goes there, but that's it. I got more than what I can handle. So how do you eat that element? One bite at a time. Based off of, here's the caveat, based off of what you can handle, not what they want. So I'm like, dang. So I'm calling the other store and saying, "Hey man, did I leave something there?" Let a ninja know. You feel me? 99% of times I'm priding myself, keyword pride myself, on being flawless. Not making no mistakes. Not making where did you get to the point where that you don't even gotta check me. Half time, just count it, knowing and got it. You feel me? That's how your boy be on his stuff. But the day was just not that day. I was overloading stuff for him. I'm sitting here going, "Boy, call back." They said, "No, we got everything we supposed to got. I don't know what you did with it." So I'm like, man, dang. Why? Because now it's going to go all up the food chain and say, "Oh, you missing? Why you missing? Where? Because if you scanned it, we scanned it, and you checked it, nigga, this on you. Which means you have to pay for something that you know you got, but now you gotta be accountable for something that ain't there no more." And I'm dealing with medical medicine, drugs. You feel what I'm saying? Legal drugs, cause yeah, this is licensed insured to deliver to the place. I don't do this separately. Full disclaimer. You can verify. Moving forward. So because of that, now they gotta check it. So now I'm like, oh shit, this can get ugly real quick because I don't know what's in it. So I was like, mark it down. We'll figure it out later. Something happens. I keep going. I keep doing the thing. It's not till I get 2.5 hours in to my route that I'm almost done because I'm pretty quick. I'm doing it for a while. So now you learn efficiency. I get all the way in, and at the end of my route, I'm done, and I see the toe. It fell, stacked, and got buried, and got stacked in a whole nother route and the very end of the process, which now means not only do I got to go back, I got to go back in this store, which was a high capacity, ugly, couldn't see, low visibility. So I'm like, what do I really want to do? Do I want to go hard and just try and be the overachiever? Or do I want to take my time and figure out what's the most effective way to get this job completed without putting myself at harm's way or doing too much and causing myself to be in a blighted situation? What I did was, and this is things that you're going to have experience when you get into your life, your business, and you evaluate, you use the process of elimination. Because sometimes we get so caught up in our bullshit of what's the worst thing that happen when I've learned. And let's go a little further. Let's tell you, he said be perfect, right? So let's go ahead. He said in 2 Corinthians 12, 9 and 10, but he said to me, "My grace is sufficient for you, for my power is made perfect in weakness. Therefore, I will boast all that more gladly about my weaknesses." See, I was in a weak space. This was a weak thing. Man, let's go. I'm going to slow down here. It's saying right there, hey, dude, you in a weak space. You in a space where that everything is not moving the way it's supposed to, and it's high adversity. There's things where how do you approach it? So what I did was, and this is how I approach the situation. Now you can take it for how you live, but I'm giving you an example, real world, of how you can approach your situations as they come, life or professional. I called and said, "What's the latest that this place closes?" Because the rule is, and this is where you got to understand the capacity of the whole. So when you're in business, the reason why most people don't succeed in business is, and I attest this to, you are winning in your life game. What is your end game? What is the whole picture so that you can get so you can get there properly, effectively, despite the adversity? Now we use an example of what I'm going to do. So when you know what your end game is, now you want to understand what is the capacity if shit go wrong. How do you adjust to it? How do you account for it? What are the rules? In this case, I had to 8 o'clock. That's when the bad boy closed. Rule is I got to make sure it's there that day. Because you don't know who's been waiting on this particular medicine. You feel me? No one knows. Your job is to get it there. Now, if you come across shit that just inverses and you've communicated and let it be known, hey, look, I don't know what happened to it, but if we can find a solution before the day ends, we're good. So this case, I call, say, what's the latest? I can get it. What's the late? What time do y'all close? Because I was supposed to be there by 12, before 12. Clearly, that wasn't happening. But how can I make it happen? Period. I found it. Now I called in advance and let them know, hey, I found it. That means I'm in the clear. Why? Because now accountability has been made. The problem has been solved, but now I got a bigger adversity because now I got to put my whole being at risk to go to still complete this process. But now I'm at the tail end of the game. I'm at the end where it's time for me to go home. I'm supposed to shut it down. Still gotta go a little bit hard. I still gotta now persevere through this storm, make it in time so that not only do they get what they need, helping the next person. That part was like the conflict. You don't want to do this. So what I had to do was I had to assess the whole situation. I said, can I do this? That's the first question. Can I do it? Answer is yes. Am I capable of doing it? The answer is yes. Do I want to do it? That's where the question came in. Because a lot of us can say, hey, I know how to become a millionaire. It's easy to get to a millionaire. I'm capable of becoming a millionaire, but do I really want to become a millionaire? Or do I really want to be fit? Do I really want to be successful? Definition of success, complete a project. And doing it at the capacities that others people can benefit. That's the definition of success. Don't get it twisted. Don't make it hard. But the conflict is, do I want to do it? Am I capable? All yeses. But am I going to do it every day, consistently, or for the time allotted that it needs to get done so that I can go ahead and get back to my peace, my private place, my comfort? And that's when I had to pull it together and say, all right, I'm going to ease. Now it's getting a little dangerous right here. So the waves tell us, I said, let me find a safe place. He said, let me find a safe place for me to find a safe place where it's not too far for me to get to, but not so far back that I can't, where that the task becomes insurmountable. Oh, so hard that now I'm going to give up because I just ain't got it. It's just too big for me. So this is what, we already read in the witness, you can find perfect. He said that in 2 Corinthians. Out here. But here he comes back in Hebrews 10:14. For by one sacrifice has been made perfect forever those who are being made holy. He says by one sacrifice he has made perfect forever those who are being made holy. One sacrifice. So he said once you found it, one sacrifice, you make it hard, you take that down, you can get back on. Now here's what Quran talks about. He said, indeed, in the creation of the heavens and the earth are signs for a people who uses reasons. They use a reason which lets it be known that reflection or natural phenomena as signs of God's existence. Meaning, in the creation of heavens, I had all this rain and all this stuff. Hey, those are things that was beyond my control. When you're in your life, when you're going through your business, when you're going through life, there are just things that happen beyond your control. Period. You cannot control when you die. You can control how you live. You can't control when your parents die, but you control how you connect. You can't control who your siblings are, but you can control if you're going to have a relationship. You can't control how other people feel about you, but you control how you make them feel about yourself. Picking up what I'm doing, picking this, you feel me? Is that making sense? This is straight up democracy. It's a law. Lanim 6:3 and 8. There is no creature on earth or bird that flies with its wings, but they are communities like you. This is saying that, let me say it again. There is no creature on earth or bird that flies with its wings, but they are communities like you, which means that you're not by yourself. You're going to go through it. but there's others that stumble through it or have a similar capacity of competition or obstacles that you can use as a reference for your situation, which also gives you a level of interconnection because it says it's in the Quran right there that, hey, we're communities. As the song they say, they're not like us. Some of us are. See, it's cool, it's classy, and cool to say they're not like us, but that's not the reality. There's a lot of us like us. You see, there is no creature on earth or bird that flies with the wings, but they are communities like you. That's just saying it right there, right out of the Quran. I'm just going to read it. So it's saying in its solution to this problem, so direct your, and I'm saying from the Surah Arim 30:30, so direct your face towards the religion, inclining the truth. Adhere to the fitrah of Allah upon which he has created all people. It speaks in it. It's towards recognizing and submitting to the natural order. Submit to the natural order. So how do we get to this? So in conclusion, in reference to the perfectionist, it says, since I got there, I had to call, find out that this big snowstorm, man, I found the halfway point where there's like, I can't go no further, but I can't go behind. But I could just wait and look at the capacity, how much is required, how much pressure has been put on me so that I can know when to let go and let God do this. Let the universe do that. Let whatever your belief system do its thing. Let it go. That's the key word. Let go and let God. The verse says, Jesus, take the wheel. You know what I'm saying? The point behind that is there's a point where that you just let it go. There's a point where that perfectionism doesn't exist other than you being perfect in God's will, the universe wills, Allah's will, whatever your preference. The thing is that it works regardless. So what I have discovered and how I frame it is that I just look at nature. Nature is perfect. Why? Because it works without nobody outside him. It's automatic. You don't tell the squirrel not how to be a squirrel because it is the squirrel. You can't tell a baby how to be a baby. Why? Because it is a baby. It's going to learn how to walk rather you teach it or not because it's already in them. Which let me understood that I'm perfect just the way I am. As is. As in, I got all the necessary skill sets in regards to my ability to get to the goal. The point, the bottom line is, am I willing to put in the work? Am I going to do the work? Am I going to sacrifice it? Tells you. Am I going to get in my own way by sitting here trying to control everything? Because there's rules to this. Well, I'm going to get to a point where that I'm at the pinnacle of my human capacity and I got the rest. That makes sense. If that's something that you get, and man, go ahead and give me a big old comment. We out the truck with that bad boy, man. I hope this adds a blessing to your business, to your personal life, and to your thing. Hey, man, this down the brightest. We out the truck, baby. At the end of the day, I need y'all to like and subscribe. Stay healthy. I'm going to always want to become wealthy. Peace. We out this piece. Out the truck.